The Golden State Warriors fanbase woke up today to one of the most shocking developments of the season, a twist that nobody saw coming, a revelation that could shake the franchise to its core and change its future forever. According to sources close to the team, a hidden message from Jonathan Kuminga to Steph Curry has just leaked, and the NBA world is absolutely stunned. This message wasn't supposed to go public. It wasn't meant for fans. It wasn't even meant for the media. It was a private, emotional communication from a rising star to the greatest shooter of all time, and what Kuminga said has sent shockwaves through the Warriors organization. Before we dive into the details of what Kuminga said, the context behind this moment is crucial. For months, tension has quietly been building in the Warriors' locker room. Behind the smiles, the high fives, and the public statements about unity, this season has exposed cracks that have been forming for years. The Warriors are stuck between two worlds, the final years of Stephen Curry's legendary prime and the rise of a new core led by Jonathan Kuminga. The franchise is desperately trying to win now while also preparing for life after Curry, and balancing those two timelines has created pressure that has finally exploded. Kuminga has emerged this season as one of the most improved young players in the entire league. His athleticism is unmatched, his scoring has taken a leap, and his confidence is at an all-time high. Night after night, he has delivered highlight plays, explosive drives, and defensive flashes that show superstar potential. But with that rise came frustration too, especially as rotations changed and his minutes were inconsistent. There were games where he played like a franchise cornerstone, and games where he felt invisible in the offense. And people inside the Warriors organization could see the frustration growing. They knew a difficult conversation was coming. Nobody expected it to leak. Nobody expected it to involve Steph Curry so directly. And absolutely nobody expected the future of the franchise to suddenly feel so uncertain. The hidden message begins with Kuminga opening up about something he has never publicly admitted, that he has felt torn between wanting to follow Curry's lead and wanting to establish himself as the next face of the franchise. In the message, Kuminga reportedly told Curry that he respects him more than any player in the league, that Curry's leadership and unselfishness changed his career, but he also admitted that he feels the pressure of trying to live up to expectations that no young player should have to carry. He said he feels like every mistake he makes is magnified, every missed shot becomes a reason for critics to question his role, and every great game becomes a reason for the organization to push him harder and expect more. And in a powerful line, he said something that stunned everyone who read it: "I don't want to be your replacement. I want to be your partner." That sentence alone has created a storm of speculation. Kuminga isn't trying to take over. He isn't trying to push Curry out. In fact, the message suggests the opposite. He wants Curry to stay, to lead, to guide, and to trust him with more responsibility. He wants to win with Curry, not after him. But then the message takes a dramatic turn. Kuminga expressed frustration with the front office, suggesting that he feels caught in the middle of decisions he can't control. He reportedly said he doesn't understand the direction of the team, that moves are being made without considering the impact on chemistry, and that he worries the Warriors are wasting opportunities by not fully committing to the blend of youth and veteran leadership. Sources say Kuminga told Curry that he feels like the team is sometimes treating him like a just-in-case option rather than a core pillar, and that it's affecting his confidence and mindset. Then came the part that shocked the organization. Kuminga asked Curry directly what his vision for the future of the Warriors really is. Not the public version, not what he tells the media, but what he truly believes. He wanted to know if Curry sees this team competing for another championship, or if he feels like his window is closing. He wanted to know if Curry trusts the young core or if he believes the front office needs to bring in another star. He wanted to know if Curry sees himself retiring as a Warrior or if he might consider leaving if things fall apart. To ask those questions so directly, so openly, is extremely rare in the NBA. But what came next is where things truly shifted. Kuminga reportedly told Curry that he doesn't want to leave the Warriors but admitted that for the first time in his career, he has started thinking about his long-term future. He said he wants to be part of a system where he can grow into the player he knows he can be, a player who impacts both ends of the court, a player who can take over games without feeling like he's breaking team structure. And while he repeatedly emphasized his respect and admiration for Curry, he made it clear that the Warriors need to choose a direction, and soon. He said he doesn't want to be stuck in a rebuild that pretends it's not a rebuild. He doesn't want to be part of a win-now team that refuses to fully commit to winning now. He doesn't want to see Curry wasting his final elite years on a roster that doesn't make sense. The core of the message was simple yet powerful. Kuminga wants clarity, trust, and a real plan. And he wants Curry's voice to lead that plan. Now let's talk about how Curry reacted, because this might be the part of the story that truly changes everything. People close to the team have suggested that Curry was deeply moved by the message. He reportedly told teammates that Kuminga showed maturity, honesty, and leadership beyond his years. Curry admired the courage it took to speak so openly and respected the fact that Kuminga came to him privately instead of going public or letting frustration turn into drama. But Curry was also shaken. For the first time, he realized that the young players around him are not just following his lead silently, they're watching him closely. They're relying on him. They're waiting for him to take a stand on what the Warriors should do next. And Curry knows the weight of his voice. If he tells the front office to make changes, changes will happen. If he tells them to trust the young core, the team will move forward with patience. If he says he wants another star, they will trade for one. And if he ever hinted he might consider leaving, the franchise would fall into chaos. Curry has always been the quiet leader, leading by example rather than force. But Kuminga's message has pushed him into a position where he can no longer stay silent. The Warriors are approaching a crossroads. The dynasty era is over. Draymond is aging. Klay is gone. And a new identity is being formed whether the organization admits it or not. Kuminga's message has forced the Warriors to confront the truth. They can no longer delay major decisions. Here's where this gets even more dramatic. After receiving the message, Curry reportedly had a lengthy private meeting with Warriors management. Details of the meeting are unclear, but insiders say Curry emphasized the need for a clearer long-term plan, a more defined structure, and a renewed commitment to winning. There is speculation that Curry may have pushed for changes in rotations, trade targets, and even coaching adjustments. And according to some reports, the front office was surprised by Curry's tone. For the first time in years, Curry wasn't just giving opinions, he was giving direction. This is exactly why Kuminga's message is being called the spark that could reshape the future of the franchise. It wasn't disrespectful. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't a demand. It was honesty, a brutally real conversation that forced everyone to confront the reality of where the Warriors stand. And now, the organization is under pressure like never before. Fans want answers. Curry wants a roadmap. Kuminga wants opportunity. And the NBA world is watching. The message also revealed something else: Kuminga's commitment to becoming a true leader. He said he wants to earn Curry's trust not just as a scorer, but as someone who can take responsibility in big moments. He wants to be accountable. He wants to be dependable. He wants to be a warrior in the truest sense, someone who can carry the franchise forward for the next decade. And that level of maturity has changed how the coaching staff views him. People who once saw him as just potential now see him as a foundational piece. But make no mistake, this situation could still go in multiple directions. If the Warriors fail to show commitment to both winning and player development, Kuminga could eventually explore options elsewhere. If Curry feels unsupported, he might consider putting pressure on the team to make drastic changes. And if the front office refuses to adjust, the Warriors could face internal fractures that nobody thought possible. What makes this moment so intense is that both Curry and Kuminga want the same thing: a team that competes, a culture that stays strong, and a legacy that continues. But wanting that and achieving that are two completely different things. The NBA is unforgiving. Teams that hesitate get left behind. Teams that avoid hard conversations collapse. And teams that ignore their stars, both current and future, end up rebuilding far sooner than expected. Right now, the Warriors are standing at a crossroads they can't ignore. And the message that Kuminga sent to Curry, a message filled with respect, honesty, fear, ambition, and hope, might be the catalyst that determines what comes next. The franchise cannot stay passive anymore. They must decide who they are. They must decide what they want to be. And they must decide how to build around the two players who clearly want to lead the future together. If this moment becomes the turning point that revives the Warriors, fans will look back and say everything changed the moment Kuminga spoke up. And if the opposite happens, if the team fails to act, fails to listen, or fails to evolve, this message will be remembered as the warning sign that went ignored.